Do you guys remember when Ja Rule was ruling the world before 50 Cent? Do you guys remember Soulja Boy? This is the type of fall off I'm talking about. Like, they were on top of the world at one point, and then they had the biggest fall off. That's the type of fall off I'm talking about. So, starting off the list, Chase Hooper. You guys remember Chase Hooper, man? I remember Chase Hooper. Everybody was talking about him. That he was the next big thing. He finally got some testosterone. He started eating meat, man. He stopped being a vegan, and he started eating meat. He was no longer a Steve Garcia victim anymore. He was actually getting finishes himself this time, and actually kind of showed, I don't know, to me he didn't really look like he had the best hands even when his resurgence, but he had a decent win streak. He was going to be a contender at one point, and Alexander Hernandez took that over and beat him, bro. I was one of the only dudes that picked Alexander Hernandez. I just felt like Alexander Hernandez just had a little bit more testosterone than Chase Hooper did. Chase Hooper just hit puberty. Alexander Hernandez is a grown man, so I'm like, okay, I'm going with Alexander Hernandez because he has more pop, and I doubt he would sub Alexander Hernandez in a round. So that was one of the main reasons why I picked Alexander Hernandez. He wasn't old, and he has some testosterone left in his body, so I just thought, oh, he would be Chase Hooper, and I was right. Chase Hooper has no hands. It's kind of sad. I wish he would do like BJJ tournaments. Honestly, I think that's better for him than actual combat. Because some people are built for it, some people are not. And Chase Hooper is kind of not built for combat. Unless he has a resurgence, gets a little bit more testosterone, I don't see him making another resurgence. And the fall off is kind of crazy because the last thing I heard about Chase Hooper was him gooning. And that was pretty much it. Like, that's kind of a wrap of his career, it looks like. Because I haven't heard anybody talk about Chase Hooper since that gooning comment in his post-fight interview. Like, when was the last thing you heard about Chase Hooper? That's it, pretty much. Other than that gooning comment, you haven't heard about Chase Hooper in a while. Other than getting flatlined by Alexander Hernandez. So, that's kind of tough for Chase Hooper. I hope he makes a resurgence. There's still a little bit of time, but I don't know. I just feel like he doesn't have the hand for it, but let's hope that he does. So, let's move on to the next one. Giga, bro. You guys remember when Giga was supposed to fight Volk for the title? I remember that. I remember he was a dominant force. I think he was undefeated or something like that. He was supposed to dominate Kattar. He dominated Barboza. Like, before the Kattar fight, he was the most hype fighter you ever seen in your life. Like, he was almost a beat level when it comes to hype. And then freaking he lost to Kattar. He got dominated by Kattar. He fell off since then. He just got knocked out by Kevin Vallejos. And it's tough, man, because he used to be good at one point, man. But then again, some of his fights were a little iffy, even when he was still considered really good. I always thought Volk would beat him. I always thought Holloway would beat him. But at one point, the conversation was there. Could he compete with these guys? And we found out in the Kattar fight, he was not. So it was kind of a wrap since the Kattar fight, especially with the injuries Giga was getting. And it's kind of sad to see him go out like this because at one point he was a very high prospect. Now he came and beat Damian Onama. That's crazy. That used to be like, that's an easy matchup on paper, but it's tough, man. It really is tough for Giga. But you want to know somebody else that fell off that dominated him? Calvin Kattar. This was not really as big because there wasn't that much hype because everybody thought he was going to lose to Holloway. He was going to lose to Volk. But like, he was a top contender at one point. But he really fell off after the Emmett loss. And that was some bold decision. He beat Emmett very clear. I will always stand by that. I don't know how the judges gave it to Emmett. The only way I could discuss and give it to Emmett is if you favor punches landing on the guard. That's the only way Emmett wins because that was the majority of the punches Emmett was landing on the guard of Kattar. Nothing clean. I don't know if the judges favor that, even though like Kattar was kind of beating him up on the feet, especially in the later rounds, and it was arguably 4-1. And that's the crazy thing. It was arguably 4-1 Kattar, and you're telling me Emmett gets the decision. What's the second round you give him? I don't get it. It really didn't make sense to me how they gave it to Kattar. Ever since that decision, it ruined Kattar's career because he got that injury against Allen, and then he hasn't won a fight since. So it's kind of tough for Kattar. However, it's kind of just tough. I only put him on here because I'm a big Kattar fan, and to see him go out like that, especially when it didn't need to happen because Emmett caused that decision. And that's some bold decision making. I don't understand how Emmett got that decision. I want to know, do you guys agree? Like, there's no way Emmett gets that decision because I can't give him 3 rounds. You could barely, maybe you could give him 2, especially if you favor punches on the guard, because other than that, he doesn't win 3 rounds. Anyways, I'm going to move on to the next one. That was more of me wanting to remind people that Emmett robbed Kattar. He did not lose that fight. Kattar did not lose, and I stand by that. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill actually had a crazy downfall because he went from a dude that people were debating that he would beat Pereira to he would get KO'd by Azamat in a round or get leg kicked TKO'd by Rakic. So it's kind of tough to see him go out like this, but we should have saw it coming even before the Achilles injury, which is kind of the weakest way to get an injury. He was playing basketball with a bunch of fighters and he popped his Achilles. Like all the things he could have popped it with, it wasn't even a training camp. It was just a regular game of basketball. It's kind of tough. It really is. That's the reason why your career ended. Is kind of that has to suck. It really does. But I feel bad for Jamal Hill. What was I going with this? I forgot what was the point. Oh yeah, freaking he had a sad downfall because now I can't see him beating anybody under, I don't know, he could beat Ozdemir. I think he could probably break Ozdemir, but I wouldn't be confident. Like he used to be considered a top contender. Now everybody thinks he's just a bum, and it's kind of tough. It really is, because I like Jamal Hill. I hope he makes a resurgence, but I just don't see it happening, man. But I'm gonna root for him, man. I like Jamal Hill, man. People forget Alex Pereira cheated, bro. Like he mistimed Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill got genjutsu by freaking Alex Pereira, man. People forget, man. I can see it in Alex Pereira's eyes, man. That's the reason why Jamal Hill lost. Let's be for real. We know the dark magic freaking Alex Pereira has. His coach is a Freemason. That is crazy that his coach is a Freemason, but that's just another story for another day. But yeah, Jamal Hill, sad downfall. I hope they give him a winnable matchup. Maybe in Ozdemir, that would be nice. Not a Rakic where he'll just get leg kicked at range, or Azamat that would KO him in a round. I still see Azamat versus Jamal Hill, and it's going to be first round KO from Azamat. I can still see that happening, but he beat Glover, he became champion, so not the biggest downfall. Like, you at least became champ, you know? So that's better than nothing. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Do you guys remember Leon Edwards? I want to fight for the title. That dude, I remember people used to hype him up for the longest, and then he lost to Bilal, and then nobody hypes him up anymore. Like all of a sudden, they pretended like they weren't Leon fans. There was a bunch of them. Now they're all gone. It's like being on the Epstein files now. Freaking, they just pretend it didn't happen. Like you guys were so close to him. Now all of a sudden, it's like you guys never heard of him. Leon Edwards? Who's that? I wasn't a fan of him. He's just a boring point fighter. Why would I like him? That's what I was saying. And then all of a sudden you guys switched up when he lost to Bilal. Now all of a sudden there's no Leon fans now. That is crazy switcher from you guys. Like, you guys used to meet right this dude. Now all of a sudden he's a bum of a ting. He's just a bum of a ting, man. He is a little bit of a bum, but not really. I feel like Leon does get a little bit too much hate nowadays, but I think it's mostly because he's on a downfall. Like, if he was winning, it might be a different story, but he at least got the moment where he headshot dead Usman. He knocked out Usman. That was kind of cold. I didn't like Usman at the time, so it was nice to see him to beat Usman, because people forget, man. Not a lot of people like Usman at the time. I didn't either. I wanted him to lose because he was kind of cringy. People forget, like, Prime Usman was kind of cringe and not very likable. But at least he got to beat Usman. That's a good moment for him. And plus, he was champion at one point. So even if he went on a downfall, he still had great moments in his career. So that's good for Leon. I don't know if he can make another resurgence, because I don't even trust him to beat Buckley right now. So I don't know. Maybe Leon can. But for now, I'm going to have to doubt him, man. I'm going to have to doubt Leon Edwards. Doubt me now. I'm going to have to doubt him right now, bro. Doubt me now. I freaking Leon Edwards' voice is so funny, but... Now moving on to the last one, Beneil Dariush. Why is he the last one, and why is Leon not over him? Because at one point he was in the big three. It was Islam, Charles, and then Dariush. People forget, man. Like, people really ranked Dariush highly, and he was a really good fighter at one point. Like, he literally, Dustin was ducking Dariush. I'm a big Dustin fan. Anytime Dariush's name got brought up, he did not want none of that, because at the time, he was a crazy threat at one point, and then he got KO'd by Charles. And then that's when the downfall happened, bro. That is crazy. People used to rank Dariush so highly. Now, we can't even trust him to take a punch without him going out cold. That is crazy to me. I think about that once a week, literally in my room, thinking about, damn, Dariush was top 3 at one point. I thought you could give Islam a little struggle. Oliveira, I think Charles was like an underdog against Dariush too. I remember this. Oh, this is taking me back, man. I remember being worried for Charles against Dariush. Like, oh, Dariush is gonna just out grapple him and dominate him, bro. Oh man, we should have saw it coming though. Like looking at his face, like it looked like he would get chinned. It's just he didn't really show it, and he just came off a win against Gamrot that was pretty impressive. Now he's getting KO back to back and back. Like Armor Sarukian doesn't have that level of power. Puts him out cold with one punch. Freaking Benoit Saint Denis. Weird situation. Just one shot and it put out freaking Dariush. It was multiple, but it wasn't really big enough for like you to go out cold. Like I almost believe that the person watching this right now could eat that. But it's just Dariush just doesn't have the chin for it. Like I honestly do believe that. Like you behind the screen, you would probably eat that. I honestly do believe. Like I'm not even sure like Dariush like could take a punch from freaking my little sister if like she went full force. To be fair, she's a little built, so even if she gets me, you might get rocked. So I'm just saying, there's a little pop in that chunk. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just talking now, but like it is insane to me. He top 3 at one point. Now I don't even trust him beating like I don't know. I don't see him really beating anybody else other than like a grappler maybe. Like I think he could beat like a Grant Dawson. Other than that, then maybe he already beat Moicano, and then that's pretty much it. I don't know who else Beneil Dariush could beat. Like he should hang it up. There's no point in fighting anymore. Your chin is cooked. Why risk the CTE anymore? Like you were top 3 at one point. Just leave it at that point. Like leave that in your memory. You won't want to be known as the dude that's been KO'd just from a nothing shot. You are becoming the new James Vick. There's no point of you fighting anymore. Think of the smart decision here. I'm just giving you some advice because I don't want you to get KO'd anymore because there's no point. Like you're already kind of old. You might as well just hang it up because you don't want any more CTE. Especially when I don't see you beat anybody else other than a Grant Dawson. And that's not the best look. And they're giving him Manuel Torres. That is insane. He's going to go out cold again. It's not really confirmed the fight's going to happen, but that's kind of the rumors. And he's going to go out cold. Oh. But I like Benny. But people forget, man. He made Dustin Poirier scared to fight him. That's a real thing that happened. But what can you do? It's tough, man. Beneil, man. He was good, man. He was good at one point, man, but he just has no chin. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm very sleepy, and yeah, that's pretty much it. God bless all of you, and that's it.